on this. Okay, guys, welcome to the Monday Night Tactical. We just had our U.S. Open Cup game. So this is the U.S. Open Cup game. Spoiler alert. We went 120 minutes, two extra times. It was not golden goal, so it was full overtime of 30 minutes. And we went to PKs, and spoiler alert, we won't get to the end of the film. Pretty sure we missed every PK. It was there's a lot of good things that happened and some things we need to work on. So we're going to go over some of those. So here's one thing I made note of. Just a heads up, we might not get through this whole tape. We might only do about 10 minutes worth of stuff unless someone requests me to go to something specific, because you can find a lot just in 10 minutes of video. Take any little slice of the game and you can find a lot of stuff. Okay. So here's an example of, let's let you watch the tape first. And so let me hit play. You guys see the screen? You're watching the game, right? Correct?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna let it play. So this is gonna be a defensive thing. So I'm not gonna critique the pass, but they're playing out, and let me play it all the way through first and then I'll rewind it. Okay. I'll play it through one more time. So here's their playing out. Gian cover shadows. All right. Now, you might be thinking, okay, did they just make a great play, right? We're black, by the way. But the reality is, if we rewind it, we broke some of our principles here. So let's say right here, they have the ball. Okay, we want to press them. We press. Okay, we do a high press. We like to do it with the first man doing a cover shadow so that he's covering another player while going to the ball so that no one else needs to cover that player, and then we can man up everyone else and possibly even double team the ball from another cover shadow. For those who don't know what a cover shadow is, it's when you go to the ball while covering the passing lane to an opposing player that one of your teammates now does not have to cover. It allows you to gain a numerical advantage. All modern pressing systems rely on cover shadows. So all the pressing you see in the Premier League, it's all built on cover shadows, recognizing them, playing through them when you're trying to break the press. So if you'll look, T-Ben has the ball, the guy who has the ball, he's going to play back to their center back. That was their sixth, playing their center back. And you're going to see Gian cover shadow, their sixth. So you see it? This is good. Now, I think this is, I don't know who this is, but you can see that right now they're on this player. All we need
Pretty
to
sure
do,
that's Arik.
yeah, all we need to do is, if you can see my mouse, right? Machina really now has to cover. He could just sit in this zone and they're not going to play it. If he just sat like right here, they're not going to play it to any of these guys, right? It's too dangerous, correct? So he could just literally move his positioning to here, okay? Noah's going to keep an eye out here, right? And at this point, Noah could even come up as long as we have security in the back. So you can see we're actually all covered up, right? Is because if Gian's pressing him from here, right? And Machina covers all three of these. You can cover more than one guy by your position, right? And this player really needs to stay on this guy, okay? But you'll see what happens is they move. See that movement? Well, and no one really needed to even cover this guy, but it would be fine if Arik just stayed on him, okay? But instead, we come here, so watch what happens. I mean, we just allowed them. Now, this is something we need to practice. So those watching it, we're gonna. Oh shoot, Luke's trying to get it. We're gonna practice this, okay? We're gonna practice pressing, because clearly, if we did that, this could lead to us scoring a goal. Now there's more problems though. So you're gonna see. So fine enough, they broke our press, which is gonna happen even if we did it correctly. But here's the next problem. So we're still in good shape, right? Look at the markings. We have this guy marked because we play man-to-man, right? With a libero in the back, right? So we have this guy marked, Noah's on him, right? Machina has 2 over here, no problem, right? Because he can just strikers are allowed to cover 2 guys. It's fine. And anyone can cover 2 temporarily. But we're marked up near the ball. This is great, right? But watch what happens. T-Ben breaks free. So he unmarked from this guy, which is a problem right away, right? T-Ben beat us there. Okay? T-Ben was still on our game group. He would be loving this. So he beats us there. He unmarks himself. That shouldn't happen. But he unmarks himself, and let's reverse for a second. Okay, and watch. So T-Ben unmarks himself, receives the ball. He should have still been followed. But look what just happened. You guys saw that, right? Remember this guy here was marking here? He left his mark, right? Fine enough if we were to cover shadow from his mark, but he doesn't. So T-Ben, watch what T-Ben does. Because you can see there's a passing lane. You just see it, right? Pays it right through. We just completely wiped ourselves out of the play. When we could have just covered 2 players, covered T-Ben, and we should have stayed right here and just kept both players in front of us. Now we're wiped out of the play. And look at this. Wait, it gets worse. So if I just told you that our previous player should have held, now this player has how many guys he has to cover? Anis, Luke, how many?
2. That looks like 2.
He's got 2. Watch what he does. Okay? And then you guys wonder why I get Brissett on the bench, right? Watch this. See that? What did he just do? His guy's taking off down the sideline. Just let him go. See it?
Yeah, you let him go.
Look at this. And now, the cherry on the chop, Jason. Okay? Is Jason in a tackle situation or a contain situation?
Contain.
Okay, watch what happens.
No, I do remember this play. You said something about us being late. Everyone was late to that play. In terms
Everyone
of
was late and dumb.
Yeah.
Right? It started off late, getting to on the press, and then if you're going to go for the challenge, right? If you're going to step into a 2v1, you better win it, right? And I'm okay with stepping into a 2v1 in certain situations if we cover shadow. That's actually a good thing, right? So this was bad. I mean, this cannot happen. I mean, this was just a folly of errors, right? I mean, if they gave out points for just if they gave out points for just bad plays to the other team, we would already be losing the game, right? Okay. So any questions on that, or is that pretty clear cut? It's better to delay, and you don't fight. I mean, this is I'm sure this is part of the art of war. I forget which rule of the art of war, but it's in there. You don't fight a battle unless you know you're going to win, right? That's the one of the tenets of the art of war is never engage in battle unless you already know the outcome. That's what it basically is. Never engage in battle unless you already know the outcome, that you'll win. And that was an example of foolish diving into battle, and it breaks a principle the way we want to play, right? We want to have a cover behind us, the libero, be all marked up, and then we could take risks. Okay, so, and it would have been fine if the first guy, if this would have been fine. I think this is Marcel that dives in the first time. Because we're still close to the goal. So you can almost forgive Marcelo and say, but I would have wanted him to come from the cover shadow, right? And it would have been better, right? And it would have been correct. Because now if he came from the cover shadow, now we're doing come from the cover shadow, go at T-Ben. Now, even if he gets beat, do we still have John as a backup right here? See him? So I'm fine with it. But details, guys. Everything is in the details. Okay? That's a no way. Everything is in the details. So we're high enough up the pitch that we could take a chance and cover it, but it's got to be a cover shadow. And John needed to have his back. And you see right here, John needed to follow this guy, and then Berlens, John should have followed. Berlens needs to take over marking of the two players. You see it? Okay. Berlens needs to take up marking the two players until Marcelo recovers. And he would have if he just would have delayed, right? But instead, we dive, and look, it happens again. And then Jason with the cherry on the top again, just, okay? And then Noah is he's just screwed at this point. Like, I'm not going to critique. I'm not going to, I would love to make fun. There's nothing, I'm not even going to, but there's really no, it's just all bad options at this point. You're a 2v1 against one guy left. So this was a disaster, right? And does anyone have any questions about that, or is that just absolutely clear that we cannot do that? And hopefully these guys watch this tape, okay? So the next one I wanted to go over was I can go over 3351. Give me a second to get there. And I forget what I said about this. I'll know it when I see it. I'll let it play. 33. Here we go. So this is 3351 right here. Okay, so you see Noah come in. That's fine, right? Okay, so I'm letting it play. All right, notice right here, 3 in the back, right? We talk about this, right? When you recognize 3 in the back, what are we going to do? We're going to sweep, right? Because we literally gain an extra man. We could take out when we sweep 3 in the back. How many guys can we take out of the play?
2.
You can go at 1 and take out 2, right? Because if he plays this ball to T-Ben, he can hop over, and now he has a cover shadow on 2 players while pressing a third, right? So this is like any opportunity we get to do this, we want to do this, right? Because now it frees up. We literally gain an extra man, right? So like Arik literally now would have, because he's kind of no man's land, but it's okay. I don't know where the left back is here, but he might have been part of the play, but we would want the left back right out here on him, right? That's probably the winger. So I'm guessing what happens is this is actually Arik's man, because I'm assuming John Lotrain is back here dealing with the winger. So this is probably their fullback, right? So this is just great job, and look at everybody marked up. Like you see, and look at Arik. If that ball is played to this guy, it's going to have to be in the air. And what goes faster, balls on the ground or balls in the air? It's just physics, guys.
The ground,
right? It's a shorter distance on the ground if you hit it hard enough, right? Hit one of them daisy skimmers, right? Like for some guys, it's going to be an air ball, but if they're shit passers, and I'm not worried about shit passers, we're worried about the good teams, right? So if he plays his ball in the air, right, Arik is actually going to have time to get under it, just like you see in like the NFL, like a receiver going after one of those balls. So this is actually a great positioning by Arik. I'm totally fine with it, right? You see professional teams do this all the time. They allow the guy to actually get beyond them because they cover shadow the ground. If this ball is played on the ground, is Arik going to be able to intercept it? Yes or no? What do you think?
Yeah.
Absolutely, right? So the only option is in the air. He'll have plenty of time to get back. Great positioning. Look at everybody else marked up. Look at this. Is Gian, can Gian get a little closer to, especially because it's Ryan, no offense, but but he's on him, right? Okay. So looks like Marcelo has his mark, and you see we have this guy marked up, and you see Gavin following his guy. And Berdenz is probably our free man, right? At this point, right? Because Berdenz is, if Gian has T-Ben's the 6, this is the 8. So Gian actually has Berdenz's man. Berdenz is totally free. There's our extra man. So this is just brilliant. And it all starts because Hamza recognized if Hamza approaches this way, right, on a diagonal, what can they do? See Bergie over here? They just play the Bergie, right? But look, see what Hamza does? See it? And now everybody's marked, okay? The ball gets played, and we win the ball, okay? But then we lose it back again. But you get the idea, right? And we basically are giving them no options. And then how do we intercept? As a reminder, we try to go through the man or to the side. What are our rules on intercepting?
To the side.
And what's your read? Anybody know?
When the head goes down.
When the head goes down. Thank you. Who was that?
Noah.
Yeah, when the head goes down, and then the last place they looked, unless they're a savvy player, and there are good players like that, the last place they looked is where they're going. Unless they off look it, which some really good players will do, but that'll be clear during the game. Guys that do that. And so you want to start to read the players, the ones that are telegraphing where they're going to go. Let's take advantage of it and get a clean interception. Why is an interception better than a tackle?
Uncontested.
Uncontested. That's another, Sun Tzu, the art of war, right? We talked about only get into a battle when you know you're going to win it, right? Which goes to don't challenge until you're secure, right? And another rule is what do you call it? What was I saying? That I've been teaching all day. What did I say, Luke? What was that?
Interceptions.
Interception.
Tackle.
Oh yeah, it's better whenever possible. Win the battle without fighting. So like for me, a tackle is a fight, right? So whenever possible, intercept the ball without engaging in battle. A bloodless coup, right? As they say. For those who don't know what coup is, when you take over a government, right? Without bloodshed, right? So anytime you can do a bloodless coup or win a battle without actually engaging in fighting, always take advantage of that because battles are costly with men and treasure, right? So for me, an interception from the side where you have no chance of getting called for a foul because you just, like a ghost, you go right by them. Okay? Very important. All right. Next one. Give me 1 second just to find the next one. Is there any questions with that? 351. I think I made another point. Oh, because I can see Gian too. I think I made a point here that you can watch Gian point. See him pointing? Okay. Like he's trying to direct coverage. You see him on Ryan. He's pointing. See him pointing? He's actually trying to get Arik to go to T-Ben, but that would actually not be the move because Arik's man is over here and there's no one to cover him. So Arik actually does the right thing. And then Hamza recognizes, and this is where communication comes in. So I'm pretty sure Gion's trying to get Arik to go to the wrong place. But that would leave this guy open. So Arik smartly just holds and ignores Gian, which is never a bad idea. Right?
I remember this play. I was on the sideline. I was on the sideline screaming at Arik.
Yeah. Arik holds, and because keep in mind, Berdenz is out of the play, so that's actually Berdenz's man. So T-Ben actually fucks this up, to be honest, because T-Ben should go where? T-Ben should have gone where? Is this an open ball or a closed ball? Let's pick on T-Ben. Open ball or closed?
Open.
So what should T-Ben do?
Go forward.
Be in the middle
or check away, correct? So if T-Ben checks away here, well, what's he doing? He's going right to the ball. Why? So what does that? I always tell you guys, when you go to the ball, what does it allow the defense to do? It allows them to cover shadow right at you. It allows them to press both of you now. Look at this. This is exactly what we do. Okay? So there's no reason to we should have won this game, by the way. Like, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that we're gonna fix though. So that's why we open ball, get away. Like the guy has time. He doesn't need you to check in. It's duplicitous. It's unnecessary. All right, so there you go. So 36-44 is the next one. 36-44. And if anybody has something they saw and they know where the timestamp is, let me know. Okay, so 36-44. Okay. So this is just like a throw-in. So for me, I'll let it play. I'll let you watch it first. Oh, and there it was. Who intercepted that? Was that not beautiful? You see that? Was that not what we just talked about? Right? Now, what I love about this play is you guys always hear me say this. If we can't get organized during a throwing, when are we going to get organized, right? So this is like, you guys heard the term low-hanging fruit, where like it's just easy pickings, right? You don't got to do much work. You just pick the fruit and eat it, right? A throw-in, they give us all the time in the world to mark up, right? And the good thing is we do, right? So this shows the potential of our press when we get everybody marked up. It's why communication's good, because in the run of play, it's harder to get marked up. And during, the ebb and flow of like turnover, their ball, our ball, it's harder. But this is a perfect example to run it, execute a great press, and watch this. This is just everything. This is everything, right? So this is Machina's guy here, right? 25 is Machina's guy. You'll see him coming off screen. Berdenz recognizes the check-in of T-Ben. Watch T-Ben come checking in him. And if Berdenz doesn't follow, doesn't T-Ben just get an easy ball? But they can't do it because Berdenz follows, right? We talk about our striker is responsible for how many guys in general? Two. So there's his 2, right? Okay. And he's just waiting for a good opportunity to sweep. Now, he could sweep right now. He could just go this way and cut off this guy and go towards Berge, right? The left center back, right? He could just do this and cut it back this way if he wants to. But he waits for the pass, and you'll see. All right, and you see Ryan checking in, right? And we already know, watch Gian. Here comes Gian, ready? See Gian? So now that's not an option, right? Now, you guys have played enough soccer. What do most teams let this guy do? What do most teams let this guy do? Somebody tell me.
I mean, I don't know about most teams, but yeah, you could receive and turn.
They're just going to they're not going to be this aggressive, right? They would just let them receive and turn, right? They would just sit back, let them receive and turn. I don't want to allow that, right? So now Hamza looks. Hamza sees we're marked up. So I love that. You saw that little sneak peek by Hamza there, right? He snuck a little peek. I wish I could go back. I'll just go back 5 seconds. Watch Hamza's little peek. Watch him. Look at him looking. Now watch when he goes. Look up. See him look at Gian. All right. And now look at Ark. There's Ark's man. So Ark was back a little. You see him coming out. So now that's not an option anymore. He knows if he goes to here, Ark's going to press him. Right. Now this brings us back to something else. And I kind of forgot to reiterate this. We have to decide how we want to play. Do we want Ark to leave the channel open? If we're getting good at interceptions, I like to leave the channel open. And I want their center back under pressure from our 9 to try to make a running pass, right? While running away from our striker on the ground down the channel. For me, this is an easy ball to pick off. And this is exactly what happened. But my thing is, if Arik sits in the channel, does he send that ball or does he send that ball over the top? What do you think he does?
He probably just plays the fullback.
He probably just plays fullback. So I really want, going forward, I want to leave the channel open. We used to do this, and we started doing the 4-4-2, and we started covering the channel. I want the channel open, and I want interceptions. Interceptions are counterattacks. And where is our striker when we intercept the ball? Where's he going to be?
The absolute highest place he could be.
Absolute highest place, right? Where now is our winger going to be? In the channel or higher up? If we clear the channel, where's he going to go? Put our winger here, correct? So when we win the ball, we're going to have our winger here, right? And our striker here.
Can I just say something? Honestly, when John gets this ball, he could just pop it right over to Hamza.
Yep.
Not even I know he tries to play Arik, but he could just
yep.
just chip a ball, just pop it up. It's a 1v1.
So this is why we're going to absolutely annihilate teams soon, okay? Because it's not easy though. He's kind of
Oh, it's not easy at all. But if it happens, it could be a goal.
Well, it's something that now he has to pre-think about. That okay, maybe I'm going to look on my interceptions. John does get a lot of interceptions.
Yeah, he does. And also the thing about interception is when you do get it, you can actually dribble forward because the guy's going to be behind you.
And he has to fail you if you shield the ball and drive. So, but that could have just been like literally a 1-touch, 2-touch right over the top, correct? And also, if Arc is higher, he's not even trying. It's just a ball over the top. So this is what we're going to start leaving the channels open. Okay, we're going to leave them open, and because we want the interceptions. We can handle balls in the air because we have a libero. But is it easier to counterattack from an interception or from the libero? Clearly from the interception, right? Correct. Okay, so good point, Luke. That's a great point. All right. So I think I'm up to which one was that? 38, 40, 20. Anything else on this, or is that good? 38, 24, right here. So I forget why I did this one. So our tactic is, let me tell you what it is real quick. So we want to, we've told our, because the opposition plays a 4-2-3-1. So they are vulnerable wide at the 2 portion of the 4-2-3-1. So 4-2-3-1, it's different numbers. You have the 4, you have the 2, it's 4 levels, the 4, the 2, the 3, and the 1, right? So the lack of width comes at the 2 level and at the 1 level, right? But the 1 level is our defense, right? It's just our striker, right? So the 2 level is really breaking their midfield line, correct? So it's a huge weakness of the 4-2-3-1 is the fact that their midfield level is 2 players playing narrow because they like to push their fullbacks. They use their fullbacks as the width, which is also dangerous. So we pin the fullbacks so that the fullbacks can't step into that midfield zone. So we're going to pin the fullbacks high, which you'll see. You can't see it here, but the fact that you don't see Machina shows you, well, you can see him right here. Here's Machina. You see him up here? See where my mouse is? So look at their back line. They're 4 in the back. You see them? They're pinned. You see them? Okay. So what I want you to watch, Berlens is our 8. We've instructed our 8 and 10 to pop out to the sideline. So watch Berlens do it. Okay. Now, he does this, and this is the point I want to bring up. It's great. He enacted the tactic, but now we need to take that tactic to the next level. Where is the space now? Anybody see it? Where's the great space? Where's the space? Anybody? Hello?
Probably to check in, right?
Yeah, the space is, everybody agree there's space. This is the split, right? We talk about when we do rondos, look for the window, right? This is the window. I like to think of it as a pane of glass that we're going to break through, but you can think of it as a gateway or a doorway. Look at the doorway here. You see it? But is this a dangerous pass to Berlens because of where Berlens is? You see it?
Yep.
So all Berlens needs to do is check a little bit more. I mean, you've all done rondos, right? Someone needs to go into here, correct? Marcelo is too far away, right? Okay. If anything, Marcelo wants to get out of there right now, right? There's no reason for it. This is Berlens' job right now. Or Noah. There's no reason for Noah to do this. It needs to be Berlens. But I mean, if Berlens wasn't there, Noah could literally loop around. But that's another method that you basically, Bielsa teaches you. Noah can go past the guy and come around the other side. That's a form of unmarking, right? So he literally is going to do a curl, like in the NFL. It's like a curl route, and then around the guy. Right?
Yeah, and then Berlens drops to where Noah is.
Yeah. So, but it's important that you're aware of that. There's, that's a great way to unmark. Is just you're covered. So when we're covered, we like to do what? We like to check away. But here, Noah can just hold, knowing Berlens is there. And it's actually smarter for Noah to just hold, right? Because he's drawing this guy over, right? And Berlens needs to check in here. Or it's an open ball. Berlens needs to go, but he probably can't because look where Machina is. You see it? So there's nowhere for him to go. So he's got to go into space. So it's okay. We're at the beginning. He did the first tactic that I want. But now we have to learn that now we're getting the movement that we want. We're getting the first part of the movement with the 8 and 10. But those who go to practice know that's the guy that creates the space, right? Okay. By checking into the space, he can also create new space, right? And someone needs to fill it. Here's the weird thing. Can Berlens fill in the same space he created? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can fill right back in again. That's totally legal. Like he can go right back in. Wingers do it all the time, right? You ever see a winger like drop in and then spin, drop in to bring the fullback in and then spin around on him? So Berlens goes out and he can go right back in again. So that's something we need to look for. And then we're gonna, take us a step, because look what we end up doing now. And can you blame Jason for going deep here? Right? He can't go back to Noah, right? Correct? Like the guy's covering Noah. Is this a heavy press, by the way, guys? Like, is this a press? Or is this just like, what fucking kind of press is that? You understand? So if that was, you see professional teams press like that, or they press much more intense than that? Like,
I mean, we press much more intense than that.
Yeah. So like Berlens has all day to check in here. If he checks in here, okay, then what happens is he goes here and then see Marcy just down Marcy. Berlens receives. Marcy goes into this space. I mean, we're just gonna, once we learn this, and we're gonna teach this during the rondos, right? Because someone tell me what this defense looks like. We play on the same part of the field, right? When we do our up rondo. Is that, someone tell me before I spoil it. What defense is that? I'll give you a hint. Up rondo. Someone help me out, Luke and East. That's the up rondo defense. 2 in one box, 2 in the front box, and 1 in the back box, correct? Right? So is this not a textbook example of sitting it? Berlens needs to go into the channel, receiving at half turn, right? And then if he comes on him, right, no worries, right? Let's say Berlens goes in, and this number 6 goes on Berlens and doesn't let him turn. What does Noah do in the up rondo? You see it? This is the up rondo, boys. Like, this is, okay, this is why, for anybody who thinks I'm nuts for doing that, I'm not nuts, all right? This is going to play in the game. Until we don't need to do it anymore, we're going to do it. And we're going to get used to it, and you can break these lines, all right? With ease, right? No deep moves need to be made. No long balls need to be made. You just pass right through these guys. Thing about these defenses they are very, the defenses that we play against are very disorganized. They're very low level. They basically call out a formation and that's it. There's no like advanced tactics to it. So like, as we advance this offense, you're just going to be able to go right through them like butter. It's going to be so easy. So you can already see. I mean, is that hard? Is that something we do at practice all the time? Right? This guy would just check into the space, turn, Noah would go. Am I asking for something that people are not capable of doing? Or does this look like you've done this 1,000 times of training? Right? Right? I mean, Luke, I know Luke has done it, right? So you've done this 1,000 times, right? Like we've seen this over and over, okay? So 10:23 game time. All right. So here's another example of the fullback checking out. I mean, the 8-10 checking out into the space, okay? So let's keep an eye. Watch Gian, the tall guy. All right. Okay, so I'll give you Gian right here. So Gian's the 10. Berlens is the 8. So the instruction now, Berlens already has been doing this the whole game. We're 10 minutes in, and Gian, this is the first time I think I've seen Gian do it. Okay. But my little joke is Gian's a Temple student, so it took him a little longer to figure it out than Berlens. So, but watch Gian do it to perfection. See him? Look him loop her over, right? Look at him. You see him going? Look at this. Okay, now watch. Go back. I want you to see something. This is their 6'8". Okay. That's their fullback. Okay. Center back, the other center back you can't see. So their center back's coming back, fullback. So their back line. So here is their 6'8". Remember, I talked about the weakness of the 4-2-3-1 is these two guys wide, right? Because look how high their 3-1 is. You see their 3-1? Everybody see the 3 and the 1? You see it? Look at the spacing. All right, look at the space out here. Gian is going to exploit it. You see him going? He's calling for the ball. John doesn't see it, and this is another reason we lost, is we didn't take advantage as a team. Like Gian saw the concept, and then maybe John didn't right away, and then he saw it later, but then they started to figure it out. And then you got to make an adjustment of their adjustment. So it's a whole thing. But look at the constraint this puts on Ryan. He's sitting there going, look at him. He's like, he knows if he leaves. Look at him looking over. He's like, shit. Right? So he leaves and he's going towards Gian, right? He's going to go after Gian, right? Which then allows what? I could check in. Okay. But this is why my problem I have here is this. Watch. So I'm going to show you what the problem is. Gian goes out. Where's the space? You guys tell me now. We already talked about this. Where's the space? Keep in mind, this is the ball channel. So where's the space? Where's the window? Where's the windows of the ball carrier? He's got a window here. I want you guys to start think this way. I don't know who this is with the ball. It's John Lotrain. He has a window this way. You see it? He has a window here. He has a window here. And he's a window here. You see it? Does everybody see it now? We need to occupy the windows. Okay? Arik sees that no one's occupying this window, and he tries to go in. But who would have been easier to occupy it? Marcelo could have done what? Right around the back. Okay, that's one option. I'm just giving you options, right? Right around. And then if he did that, then Verdennes could have checked over here for him, right? Or Marcelo can do what? Check away, drag this player further away. You see it? If Marcelo goes this way, tell me we don't work on this in practice. That barricade in. Someone back me up on this. Luke, right? We tell the 6 to do what? If you're marked, do what? If it's an open ball and you're marked, what do we tell the 6 to do?
Rotate out.
Rotate out. He could rotate into this hole, into this window. That's going to either give him, if this guy doesn't move, he's open through this window. If he does move, Verdennes needs to go into this window. Right here. Verdennes needs to come in here. Okay? Because this guy's going to put a cover shadow on Gian, which is why it will. This man can either, and you guys know this when I talk about wing play, he can cover shadow Gian or he can cover shadow the channel. Who does he choose to cover shadow? You tell me. Who's he taking away? Is he taking away the channel or is he taking away Gian?
Gian.
Yep. So if Verdennes would have came in there, that would have opened up. Would this guy have even seen Verdennes? No. Okay. Now, instead of that ball being like a long speculative one, it would have been Verdennes in all the space. This is why we train. And it's very important, those watching this tape. If you can't see it now, watch the tape again. You're not going to be able to play without knowing these movements. Because I don't need you to be Maradona to do these things, do I? Right? I need you. It's if you can, if average players can learn to do what the great players do, or just say amateur players. If amateur players can learn the movements of the great players, are they not enhanced? Now those players are enhanced, right? So this is my philosophy as a coach. I'm trying to enhance all the players with their movement off the ball. You hear it all the time. Movement off the ball is the name of the game. 97, 98% of your time on the pitch is moving off the ball. Well, this is where I spend my time. And I'm going to notice in any of these things, have I talked about the guy making the pass, or am I talking about the guys that are off the ball, not with the ball? Am I talking about the decision of the ball carriers, or am I talking about the decisions of the guys off the ball predominantly right now?
Off the ball.
Off the ball. This is all off the ball. If the off the ball movement's great, if the off the ball movement is correct for these situations, John Lotrain is going to look like like a world class center back, right? Okay, because it's going to be easy. It's going to be easy for him. All right, does that make sense, guys? Any questions about that? Or is it okay? All right, and like you see Arik check in, right? But this is a ball in the air because it's too dangerous to send it that long on the ground, right? So this is not how we want to play, is it? This is not how I want to play, right? Like look at this. I got to coach a high school girls game tomorrow. That's what that's going to look like. This is not how we want to play, right? So you see Arik recognizes it, okay? And you see him come checking in, all right? But it's just never going to get it's going to be a very difficult ball on the ground to get to. So he sends it in the air. And sometimes if John, now in the future, okay, watch John, sometimes just step on the ball and wait, right? You hear me tell you guys this. So John can just wait. And if he waits long enough, right, he sees it. Now, the reason John sends it is there's no movement. So I don't blame John. But now we have to tell John, Johan Cruyff said, tactics are one of the words that will confuse people, but you have to think about it, is trust. He calls it like there's a percentage of it that's insight, like seeing things, right? Seeing the window that you can check into, having the insight to see the windows, right? Okay, you have to know that to make the movement. But he says part of it is trust. And that seems odd to talk about in tactics. But right now, John should not trust his teammates, right? Because they're not going to move, right? But now we have to teach his teammates to move. And then he has to trust that he can step on the ball, knowing that the window's open, and he can trust that someone else is going to see it. That's what Cruyff was talking about when he talks about the trust, because John it's going to be dangerous for him to wait on this ball, right? If he can't trust his teammates, right? What's that old trust exercise that you're going to fall backwards because you trust that your friends are going to catch you, right? So John has got to trust that Berlens is going to make, right? Is going to go in there. Because is John under pressure right now, or could he hold the ball longer? See, was that guy coming like real? He had a few extra, maybe at least a whole nother second or second and a half to two, right? Correct? Plenty of time. So trust. But I don't blame John for not trusting Berlens, but he's going to, because Berlens is gonna earn that trust. Okay. All right. Is there any questions? I want to end this at 8. So is there any questions or any part of the film that you guys want to see? Oh, if not, let me show you the rotation. That will be a standard rotation that we're going to want to see. You guys see the tactical board? So let me just set it up real quick. So if we are, let's say we're black. All right. So let's say our fullback has the ball, right? And our winger is high. Okay. And our 9 is high. Okay. And what do we tell our 10 to do? We want them to do what, right? We want them to check where? Someone tell me. Oh, let me put them in a 4-2-3-1 first. Sorry. So they're 4-2-3. So if Gian checks to here, will he be followed by the 6? If he checks down, right? He probably will be, right? Okay. Let's get a nice little setup here where they're he'll probably be followed, right? Okay. So what we want to do is completely unmark away, right? And we want to leave the 6 with a decision. Where do I go? Right? Okay. So he's going to probably might even drift half out. Okay. So we actually want, what we want to start to happen is, okay. And sometimes the 6 will just hold. Okay. We want the 9 to check into this space if he can, right? We want the 9 to check in. All right. And that allows what now? Okay. Then you might see this get picked up, right? Okay. Or you might see this. If the 9 checking in, who might actually follow the 9? His natural enemy, your center back, right? So then we want this run. Okay. So this 5 is going to be over here. We want the run. We want this guy to turn in, right? And we want the 9 to come all the way down. And we want this guy to become, you see it? We want to see these kind of movements. All right. If the 8's not there to do it, right? Before Berden's was, remember? But we want to see that movement, right? So to show it again, they're set up, right? Our 10 is here, right? Our 10 is going to check out, okay? It might even be a situation where this guy is like this. We talked about he's covering the channel, right? So now Gian can, right, get here. So we might even want, maybe we want the 9 to, come down and maybe try to drag this guy away, right? And if he doesn't, what do we talk about? If he does, because it's seeing the next pass, guys. If you know the ball is going to go to Gian, right? Where's the space? The third man, right here. He can come in. If he gets followed, great. Look at this. See? If he doesn't get followed, okay, let's go back. If he doesn't get followed, okay, now he comes in and he can receive and get turned, right? And now he can still play a shorter ball into the 11, all right? So it's reading where the ball is going to go. He's talking about Wayne Gretzky he said, the reason he was such a great player is he didn't go where the puck was. He went where the puck was going to go next. And that's what it's all about. Someone's trying to get in. This is the kind of things I'm talking about. It's if you wait till the space is open, sometimes it's too late. You have to see the space being created, the guy making that initial movement, and then already start to go there. So you're there, you arrive at the right time. Of course, talked about that as well. It's about arriving at the right time. It's not about your foot speed. Okay, soccer players are not fast, guys. They're not as fast as people think they are. What they do is they arrive at the right time. They think faster than fast players that are amateurs. They think faster. Do you think that how many guys on Tottenham do you think are faster than Giancarlo on the starting? I'll give you the starting lineup. You think everybody on that starting lineup is faster than Giancarlo?
No.
No, not a chance, right? So the difference is, there's a lot of differences. No offense, Giancarlo, but they know where to move. They don't need to be as fast as Giancarlo because they think faster and they see the things opening. You have to. So part of what we're going to do in this journey this year, we're really going to focus on the offense this year. Okay, we're really going to focus on the offense. We just have to get the defense correct. Okay, so we're still going to keep shoring up the defense, but the defense is simple. All right, we're going to really work on the offense, and there's going to be a long journey and a lot to learn about these movements. All right, and it'll be a journey through the year. So I look forward to it. It's going to be really fun. This is year 3 of this project, and we're going to take it to the next level. It is the year of the offense. So any questions, or are we good? Did I show that well enough? The kind of those rotations, right? Okay. And I think we touched on a lot of stuff. Everybody good?
Yep.
All right. I'm going to stop the recording. I can find it. Stop recording.